Hello, it's me, Oscar from Marijuana Garden.
Airship, docking, on high-rise buildings. The Empire State Building's top was initially planned to be a docking station for airships in the late 1920s. Investors believed airships would soon be used for cross-Atlantic travel, and the building's top seemed perfect for docking. The plan was for airships to land at the top, secure quickly, and let passengers walk into the building's top floor. Then, they could take an elevator down to Manhattan, arriving within 7 minutes of landing. A docking mast was even built on the building. However, engineers couldn't figure out how to safely dock an airship on a 1,250-foot building with strong winds. Airship companies considered the idea too risky, and interest waned. Still, a private blimp did dock for 3 minutes in September 1931, causing traffic jams below, but no unloading occurred. The era of cross-Atlantic airships ended with the 1937 Hindenburg disaster, when the world's largest airship caught fire while landing in New Jersey. With its advent, passengers could finally be transported over great distances in comfort, even luxury. "On a plane you fly, but on the Graf Zeppelin you voyage," remarked one pampered passenger. For the Graf Zeppelin's first transatlantic flight, besotted crowds of 50,000 or more awaited its arrival at the landing field at Lakehurst, New Jersey in 1928, even though it was delayed a day due to bad weather. Millions more watched as the airship slowly made its way up the East Coast, floating over Washington, D.C., past Baltimore, and above New York City. The airship experience, however, didn't come cheap. In 1928, a round-trip transatlantic ticket went for $3,000, worth about $40,000 in today's dollars. But what about the photograph shown here? The New York Times reports that in 1929, Alfred E. Smith, the leader of a group of investors erecting the Empire State Building, announced that the height of the building would be increased by 200 feet so that a mooring mast for dirigibles could be installed. Smith noted that passengers would exit the airship down a gangplank, and a mere 7 minutes later could be on the street, ready to experience everything Manhattan had to offer. Dr. Hugo Eckener, the commander of the Graf Zeppelin, reports the New York Times, dismissed the project as impractical, noting that dirigible landings required dozens of ground crew, not to mention plenty of rope. The notion that passengers would be able to descend an airport-style ramp from a moving airship to the tip of the tallest building in the world, even in excellent conditions, beggars belief, notes the Times. In 1930, International News Photos distributed this manipulated photograph. At the time, no airship had docked at the Empire State Building. That didn't happen until September 1931, when a privately owned dirigible docked for a mere 3 minutes, in a 40-mile-per-hour wind. Traffic was tied up in the streets below for more than a half hour as the pilot, Lieutenant William McCracken, jockeyed for position in the half-gale about the tower 1,200 feet above the ground, the Times reported in 1931.